Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria if you are new. Today we are starting 31 days of Halloween. I haven't done this in almost 3 years now. It is definitely not an easy challenge to do 31 days of Halloween looks, especially to do videos with them and tutorials, but I'm a little bit more prepared this year, so I'm ready. Let's get into it. So today we're doing Tim Burton Barbie. I've seen so many fun Tim Burton Barbie looks, so I'm excited to get involved with this one. It is the year of Barbie, so this is the perfect twist for Halloween. All right, let's get into it. First things first is eyebrows. We are gonna block them out. So I'm gonna first go in with spirit gum to stick them down and then also use my glue stick. I like spirit gum because it is super strong and my eyebrows are very unruly. I actually contemplated just shaving them off for 31 days of Halloween because I feel like it'd be so much easier, but I'm probably not gonna do that, so spirit gum it is. Okay, and they do feel pretty flat, but I will probably go in with a glue stick to kind of fill in any gaps. I'm gonna set them really quick and then we'll start going in with the foundation. I'm gonna use the Mehron setting powder in Ultra White. I'm gonna be using the white foundation from Sunset Makeup. So I want to be pretty pale, so I'm going to mostly use the white foundation with just the tiniest amount of my regular foundation. I'm going to use the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint, and this is the shade 310. And just a small amount of my foundation. Really quickly, you need setting spray. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm going to use the Milk Mattifying Pore Eclipse Primer around my nose. Just pressing that in to fill in any of my pores. I'm gonna take that on a sponge and press that onto my eyebrows. I feel like this may not have the amount of coverage that I'll need for my dark eyebrows, so I'll probably go in with some Mehron paint. This is a good starting point. Now I have my huge Mehron Paradise Makeup AQ palette, and it's brand new. Isn't it so pretty? So I'm gonna take one of these white paints. And these are water activated, so I got a little bit of water. And I'm going to press that onto my eyebrows. I'm not worried about the blending around just yet. I really just want to get those eyebrows hair covered. Take a little bit more of that setting powder. Okay, now we're gonna do the rest of my face. White foundation from Sunset Makeup. A few drops of my Maybelline. I think I need to add a little bit more layers because you can kind of see the difference between the area around my brows and the rest of my face. This time I'm going in with a sponge. Okay, I'm actually going back in with a little bit of that white paint around these harsh edges. Okay, and I'm actually gonna take a little bit of that face paint kind of just everywhere, just to kind of even everything out. This is like my first time really getting back into this kind of makeup, so I'm kind of almost relearning a bit. So bear with me. Just the tiniest amount of the Maybelline. I have some white on my sponge. I'm just gonna take that, whatever foundation was left on my hand, just to kind of bring some color back into all that white. Because it's still Barbie, we're not doing, you know, Jack Skellington right now. Okay, so I want to do the eyebrows before I move on to like the contour and concealer and whatnot. So I'm just gonna set the area right on my brow and just kind of right above my eyebrow because that's where the eyebrows are going to be drawn. So for the brows, I want to use like a brown shade because we are going to go with a blonde wig, so I don't want the eyebrows to be too dark. So I'm going to use a mix of these two brown shades here. It's like a really light brown and a darker brown. And we are going to go with that classic Corpse Bride angled brow for this look. So I'm going to draw them pretty much right on top of my eyebrows, kind of touching where my eyebrow hairs are. And I'm just lightly mapping them out first. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit more of a detailed brush just to get them a little bit more crisp, a little bit more sharp. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to all the contouring, and there is quite a bit of contouring. Tim Burton characters tend to be very gaunt, very shadowed. I'm going to use one of the matte fluid eye paints from About Face. This is the shade Vintage Granada, and it's like this really pretty dusty dark purple. And I'm gonna work in sections because these can dry pretty quickly. So I'm gonna start with the cheekbone. We want it very angular. So I'm gonna start like right here. Taking a dense brush. Really want that hollowness right here underneath my cheek. Slowly bringing it down, taking that sponge that I've been using and just kind of soften the edges. I want some under my lip. I'm just gonna kind of work that way. I want some underneath. Now we're gonna do the nose. I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna go back in and like re-highlight the areas that I want highlighted. Start to kind of take that onto my brow bone. Taking a little bit of the Mehron face paint on a small brush, lightly where I want that highlight. Going in with my sponge. Okay, and we do want the nostrils to have a more upward turned effect. So taking some more of this paint right here on the top part of the nostrils. You can go for like a more harsh triangular effect. I know I've seen some people do that. I personally like it just a little bit more blended. Going over everything with my sponge before I set. I'm not too worried about the creases under my eyes just because I am going to do a lot with the eyes. Okay, using that same Mehron setting powder. I'm using a little powder puff this time. This is my first time trying the setting powder and I actually really like it. Okay, so for like a bronzer, I guess, I am going to use my Blends palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. It's brand new, I just got it, it's so pretty. I'm gonna use a little bit of this shade here. It's like more of a pink, but I do want to add some kind of like pink to the face. And then I might use a little of this one up here. It's the shades Vamp and Bewitched. I'm gonna try Vamp first. A little bit, and with a very light hand. I know these lights are kind of, there we go. Okay, so it's kind of like that effect the lights were having on my face, just without the light. Focusing it mostly up here and then just slightly bringing it down. Kind of going a little on top of my cheekbones to kind of act like a blush, sort of. Probably should have done this earlier, but I think I'm gonna turn down the lights a bit so you can get a better idea of the colors we're working with. So it's kind of like a little blush going on. It is Barbie. I still want to keep that in mind. So she is going to be glamorous. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of this pink here, possibly these two lighter pinks to kind of act as a blush. Get it pretty high on the cheekbones. I don't want like a rosy effect. Now, the tiniest bit of this darker purple here, which is Bewitched for my nose, just to kind of reiterate that contour. I feel like that was even too much. Yeah, it was a bit too much. These are very pigmented eyeshadows. I'm gonna bake my nose to kind of reiterate contour. Kind of scared how pigmented these are. I don't want to go too crazy. So taking the slightest amount, just right in the Hollows of my cheeks. I'm gonna bake my nose and the hollows of my cheeks. I want to tone down the purple a little bit on my nose, so I'm going to take the gray, which is the shade Intuition. Okay, we're going to move on to eyes now. I'm going to use that same shade that I used for like the blush, no, for the like bronzer, that deep pink color, Vamp. And I'm going to take it right here. And I'm gonna go in pretty heavy with it. I want it pretty dark. I want it pretty saturated. I'm also gonna take this on the outer corner. And instead of like blending up to connect to that, I'm going to go in at an angle. And I'm gonna bring this down. Now I'm going to switch palettes. I'm gonna use the Natasha Denona Retro palette. Mine is pretty like messed up. I'm like missing one and all of them are in different spots, so I can't tell you the names, but I'm gonna take this light matte pink. Just going to tap the outer edge of this to soften it up, diffuse it. Here as well. Now I'm going to take this darker burgundy shade on a smaller brush to really add some depth. Okay, so now we're going to do a cut crease, or like a half cut crease. So I'm going to take a Q-tip and some micellar water, and we're going to cut it pretty high up here. We still want to keep that same shape going this way, like the brows. I'm going to bring it past the inner corner as well, down there. To fill that in, I'm going to use the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime Eye Primer. That's a tongue twister if I ever heard one. I'm going to take a flat, round concealer brush and bring it at that angle. Now I'm going to take this light pink shade in the Blends palette, and I'm just going to focus this on the inner part of that. Now I'm going to take this pink shimmer in the Retro palette and I'm going to go right on top of that lighter pink. Now I'm going to take this brighter, hotter pink, this one here, and just tap that on the center of the lid towards the outer corner. Now I'm going to do the same thing and take a shimmer similar to that and put that on top. So I'm going to use the shade Strawberry from the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palette. Just kind of blending that towards the center, towards that lighter pink. Now for the outer corner, I'm going to take that same pink that we first started the eyes with, the shade Vamp, that on the outer corner, lightly blending into that shimmer. Okay, so now we're going to do liner and draw on the lower lashes. So I'm just going to be using my NYX Epic Ink liner. So I'm going to start right around here, and I'm just going to kind of follow creases, connect it to that wing. I'm going to draw the lower lashes. I'm only going to focus on the outer corner. Okay, so next, and I probably should have done this before I draw on the lower lashes, but good to shade the lower lash line. And I'm going to start with this one, just very close to the lash line, and then smoke it out with this one. So taking Vamp, I am connecting it to that cut crease. Super small detailing brush to get in between the lashes. Now for that darker purple, Bewitched, very light amount on this brush because remember it is super pigmented. Now with a slightly larger, fluffier brush, I'm going to take that gray shade, taking a white eyeshadow from that palette, and then just kind of buffing out that gray. I feel like the darker eye bags really make it. Little thing, I'm going to add black to the nostril area. I'm using the shade Nevermore from the Blends palette. I'm gonna go in with white liner now, but I did add contacts before I do that because my eyes tend to water when I put contacts in and I didn't want it to mess it up. And I did go with purple contacts. I feel like Tim Burton Barbie has purple eyes. I know she normally has blue eyes, but I feel like purple is her thing in this world. So I'm taking the LA Girl Pastel Dream Auto Liner in the shade Marshmallow. Basically just gonna fill in all that empty space, including my waterline. And then just going back in with my black liner to kind of resharpen that lower lash line. My favorite part is the lips for sure. But first I'm going to put on lashes. I'm gonna use a pair of these that I got from Amazon. They're super dramatic and I did kind of cut them down to fit my eye. Lashes are on. I do want to add some like glitter on the inner corner. So I'm gonna use this pink one from ColourPop. It's from their Lizzie McGuire collection. It's the Get a Grip Glitterly Obsessed. So to line my lips, I'm going to use this NYX lip liner in the shade Prune. So I want like a very pinky lip. So I'm gonna take this lip stain from Stila. It is the Calligraphy lip stain in the shade Yuri, and it's like a very hot pink. I am going to kind of tone it down with like a lighter nude, but we're gonna start with this. Kind of lighten it up, I'm going to take this Melted Matte lipstick from Too Faced. It is the shade Sugar Cookie. Just softens it up. However, I think I am gonna add like the tiniest bit of the white foundation, the smallest amount. I still feel like right now it's very warm and I kind of want it to be a little bit cooler. Okay, I think I'm happy with this color. Okay, and I'm almost done, pretty much done. I think I'm just gonna add some highlight. Okay, so I want like a pink, cool tone pink highlight. I actually don't think I have something like that because I got rid of a lot of stuff recently, but I do have this palette from Morphe and there's this pink in here that I think will work. The shade Sundress Season. This is the Desert Rose palette. I'm taking it on a little brush like this. Okay, so last thing to do before I put on the wig is my neck. So I'm going to take the black from that Maron palette and I'm gonna start carving it out. I think I want it like right here. I'm just now realizing I should probably be doing the white first. It's fine, we'll figure it out. No! I got my top, but it's okay, we're gonna have a really long wig anyways. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the white face paint. Just the white first, and then I'll kind of start to mix in my foundation. Okay, I'm going to take the tiniest bit of my Maybelline foundation on a sponge and just kind of go over the white to match the rest of my face. Okay, still looks pretty messy. I'm just going to start shading. So I'm going to be using the Intuition Gray shade and the Bewitched Dark Purple. Starting with the gray. Now with a much smaller brush and the purple. Okay, I'm gonna try to go get this off my shirt and put on my wig, and I'll be right back. All right, so this is the finished look. Got the wig on. I also have this flower crown. Maybe. I feel like it's very Corpse Bride-esque. Maybe like Fairy Princess Barbie, Tim Burton version. I don't know, what do you guys think? With or without? I like both. Let me know what you guys think. I am so excited to be doing this again. It's been way too long. And thank you guys so much for the suggestions you guys have sent me on Instagram. I believe one of the ones that I got was Scary Barbie. I hope this kind of counts as that maybe. It's definitely like a darker version of Barbie, so I don't know about scary, but you know, definitely darker. All right, and that concludes the first day of 31 Days of Halloween. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow.